Alright guys, so in today's video I wanted to take a little bit of time to talk about my personal biggest regret that I have so far for choosing Xbox for the majority of this generation and choosing to finally now embrace PlayStation almost towards the end of this generation. A lot of you know the reasoning for this, and a lot of you have kind of followed my transition and actually really supported me on it, because the thing I was really missing out on was a lot of great games. We know this. I've talked about it ad nauseum at this point on this channel, and I'm still experiencing a lot of these great games actually, and we've all kind of come to the conclusion that I was really just making a big mistake as somebody who wanted to call myself a hardcore gamer by choosing to miss out on a lot of these awesome experiences that Sony has been delivering throughout this generation. But I also felt kind of fortunate because I figured, you know what? Better late than never, right? These games are all going to be here. They're always going to be here, and I'll be able to play them whenever. And that's, currently what I'm doing. I'm making my way through a lot of the PlayStation games that I've been missing out on. I've still been playing Infamous Second Son, and I'm on my way to getting the platinum for that game because I'm just really enjoying it. And I'm also playing Shadow of the Colossus for the first time. I've been streaming it, and it's just been an absolute blast, and it's been awesome. And I just have a lot of I don't want to say negative feelings towards Xbox, because I don't want to make it sound that serious. I know that a lot of Xbox fans get really upset whenever I talk about Xbox because I'm very critical of them, but really this is me just kind of bashing myself a little bit in this video, because I have to say my biggest regret, and I just recently learned about this, unfortunately, and I just felt like I had to make a video on it, is the fact that I missed out on PT, the playable teaser demo that released about 5 years ago. I believe it was released, I have the date here, on August 12th of 2014, and it was the last time Kojima was at Gamescom. And I kind of remember it, at that time I wasn't paying nearly as much attention to the gaming industry as I am now, or as I started to pay attention to it going forward, and it just didn't interest me, especially at the original announcement, because I had no idea what it was. Nobody had any idea what it was. I was a little bit interested when I heard that Kojima was involved, and then we found out it was PT, and it was this like horror demo experience, and it kind of appealed to me, but it kind of didn't at the same time. Again, I was just kind of in my own world, and Xbox, and just paying attention to everything that was going on there, and I just didn't give too much thought into it. And I recently, because I found out it was the 5-year anniversary of it, I started watching some videos of it online and listening to people talk about it, and I came across a few videos of people celebrating its 5-year anniversary, and it really got me like extremely interested, and I immediately started feeling like, wow, like, how have I not played this? Like, how have I not experienced this? Because it sounds like everything I would want. Like, it blows my mind to think that back in 2014 and 2015 I just wasn't really paying attention when I should have been. And it's the reason why it's a huge regret now, like a true regret, when it comes to my gaming life, is because I realized that I'm probably never going to be able to experience it. Because what I tried to do is I went to the PlayStation Store and I was looking up PT, and I was like, surely I should be able to download this game and play it, right? Like, it's a demo, like, it's still there. And I kind of heard some rumblings in the past about how Konami, like, we know they canceled Silent Hills and everything, the fallout that happened between Konami and Kojima, and I remember kind of hearing, like, offhandedly, or I wasn't really paying too much attention to it. I didn't put much thought into it, that they were making it harder for people to get their hands on PT, but I just thought it's not that serious, right? Like, I can just go download the game and play it. And here I come to find out that you just can't. You just can't download it. And I was really trying to figure out a way, like, what if you had a profile in the past, or somebody else has a profile and they downloaded it and then they deleted it, you can't even re-download it that way. At this point, I believe the only way, if I'm not mistaken, and if I am, somebody please let me know down in the comments below, because I need to know, because I want to play this, and I just don't think it's ever going to happen. Apparently the only way you can play PT at this point is if you have a PlayStation with it installed, right now, and it just was never uninstalled. That's the only way you can experience it, and that is insane to me. Like, I literally was shocked when I found out, like, really? That's as far as it goes? That's the only way you can experience PT, like by playing, if you want to play it yourself. And looking into it further, looking into how it was constructed, how a lot of people, even though it was a demo, considered it basically a full-blown game. I did watch segments of it, and it looked absolutely horrifying in many ways and unsettling, and it just had this tone to it that I never really saw in a video game before. And when it comes to the way you had to solve the puzzles and how obtuse they were, and how a lot of people, I was reading comments about all the different stuff you had to do, and how the internet kind of came together to figure it out. And it truly in that moment, knowing I couldn't play it, knowing I couldn't experience it, because I thought, oh man, if I could play PT, maybe I could stream it or something. That would be an awesome thing to do with my subscribers. But knowing I can't do that, and knowing I missed out on this, I had to say, like, that's my biggest regret. Like, I really wish I would have not made that mistake. I really wish that I would have just said, forget it, like, I shouldn't have supported Xbox from the beginning. If I had chose PlayStation from the beginning, I wouldn't have missed out on it, because I would have just said, oh, I'll download it and I'll try it out. And nobody could have predicted the future. Nobody could have predicted what was going to happen with Hideo Kojima and Konami and the cancellation of the game. And it just, it's kind of depressing, honestly. If I'm being completely honest, I was really saddened by the fact that I can't play this. Like, the most I could do is watch a playthrough or walkthrough online, which is still nice. I'm glad that there's at least that, but I just was completely blown away at the fact that Konami essentially tried to completely scrub this, and erase it from existence. And it's really depressing to think, because first of all, I would have loved to see a Silent Hills game from Kojima. I think, especially after looking into PT and seeing just like what he was doing there, to imagine what PT could have been, that would have been awesome. Now, I had some friends back in the day who played it, and I talked to them a little bit about it, and they would tell me like how it was just too horrifying for them, I guess. Like, they just couldn't figure it out, and they were confused by it. And I know that there was like a looping section where you just kept kind of walking through the door and going back, but things changed every time, and it was just, it's insane to me, man. Like, and I thought this would make for a good video, because I didn't realize, like, it's been 5 years since PT was announced and released, and I guess I just never really put much thought into it. I always kind of had the idea, like, oh, it'll be there, I could just play it whenever. And I was really disturbed at the fact that I can't. That's not the case. Like, I can't experience PT, and neither can anybody else, unless you are somebody who downloaded it on your PlayStation 4 and just never uninstalled it. And even then, like, I'm still not even sure if you can play it then. Somebody should let me know. As far as I know, that's the only way you can play it, but maybe not. Maybe Konami did something where you just literally cannot experience this game anymore, which is just such a sad thing to think. And so, looking at Death Stranding and looking forward to that, you guys know it's my most hyped game. I would have certainly been hyped for Silent Hills. I'm not going to lie, even though I wasn't paying that much attention to PT when it came out, when I found out that it was, when you completed the demo, when I found out that it revealed Silent Hills and that Kojima's working on it, I got pretty excited for that. I'm not the biggest fan of the Silent Hill series, simply because I haven't really experienced many games in the entry. I have very little experience with those games, but I am a big horror fan, and I'm a big Kojima fan, and so it sounded pretty amazing. I mean, I thought, okay, like, at the time I know he was working on MGS5, and that's really the only thing I was paying close attention to, but knowing that he was going to do something different after that got me excited. And even though we won't get Silent Hills, we aren't getting Silent Hills, it's been canceled, and we know that the ties have been severed between Kojima and Konami, I'm at least looking very much forward to Death Stranding, and I'm going to be curious to know if anything, like any of the DNA or any of the strands from PT or what was supposed to be Silent Hills are going to be in Death Stranding to some capacity, because I'm sure Kojima had a lot of ideas, and you could tell just by the way that demo was constructed that there was a a lot there that they wanted to do to really make people feel uncomfortable and feel scary. And I definitely don't consider Death Stranding anywhere near a horror game, but it does look like there will be a few horror elements within it, some moments that definitely kind of freak you out and make you feel uncomfortable. And so it's going to be interesting to see. And so I just thought it would be good to maybe take a little bit of time here to talk to you guys about, because I get asked this question frequently, like, do you regret not, choosing PlayStation sooner or coming to PlayStation 4 sooner? Do you regret supporting Xbox for the majority of this generation? And usually the answer is like, yes, but it's not that serious, because it's like, well, I'm here, better late than never, and I'm just glad I'm able to experience everything I missed out on, especially all at once. I've seen a lot of people tell me that they're jealous that I get to experience all of these games in rapid succession, but unfortunately for me, one of the things that I did miss out on that I simply can't really experience, and there's just no way for me to experience it, practically speaking, is PT. And that's really depressing, because as I looked further into it, I had to stop watching it because I was like, I'm just getting kind of frustrated at the fact that, like, this looks absolutely amazing. I was getting frustrated with myself for knowing I missed out on it, and I only have myself to blame. And then also realizing that I can blame Konami, because there really was no reason for them to do this whatsoever. I understand that the game was going to get canceled, but people seem to have really loved PT, and I don't really see what harm it would have done to just leave it up there for people like me or anybody else who wants to play it. But it's Konami we're talking about, so really, I guess none of us should be surprised, right? But that's going to do it for the video, guys. Again, I thought it would just make for an interesting conversation. So at this point, I want you to definitely leave your thoughts down in the comments below. Let me know if I'm missing something here. Is there any other way I can access this game that I'm not aware of? Or realistically speaking, is there just no way I'm going to be able to experience this game? And also let me know if you were, lucky enough to be able to experience it yourself, and just let me know your thoughts on PT and what you think of it now and how you felt about it back then when it was announced and we had no idea what it was. Going to be very interested to see what you guys have to say. Leave the video a like if you did enjoy it. It really helps it out. I appreciate all the support you guys have been showing me lately. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Hit the bell notification so you never miss any videos I upload, and feel free to share this video out on top of all that. But until next time, guys, take care.